Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, you're welcome. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to draft the upper part of this gorgeous dress. It's a stylish over bust bustier corset kind of bodice, so I'll be drafting it the best way I can. So I'll proceed to drafting right now. I've laid out my pattern paper. I'll proceed with taking my measurement. The first step you want to do is extend your tape measure by measuring how low you want the over bust to be. So I marked 4 inches for my extension. I started my tape measure and I marked 4 inches. That will be at my starting line, and I proceeded to marking my bust line of 9 inches, bust point of 10.5, under bust of 14.5, waistline of 16 inches, and extension down to be 18 inches. That's my length is total 18 inches. There are two ways to go about drafting this pattern, but I'll be drafting this pattern using my body shape and body size, which is an apple body shape. So I'll proceed to drafting the pattern just as shown. After extending the lines, I'll proceed to marking and labeling first: shoulder line, bust point, under bust, waistline, and then length. So I'll go to my starting line and I'll mark 8 inches for my shoulder. My shoulder is 16 inches divided by 2, that will give me 8 inches. I'll mark that measurement, rule a straight line, and then mark my bust round measurement. My bust round is 42 divided by 4, that will give me 10.5, and I'll mark that measurement and I'll cover out my armhole. So I'll come to my bust point and take my nipple to nipple measurement. That's 8 inches divided by 2, that will give me 4 inches plus 0.5 inches of sewing allowance, that will give me 4.5. I'll mark that measurement and I'll rule a straight line, and I'll proceed to cover my armhole just as shown. The next step for me to take in my dart, I'll be taking 1 inch on both sides for my darts. You can do 0.5 inches if you're a smaller size person, but for me, I'll be doing 1 inch on both sides. I'll take that dart on the length, on the waist, and on the under bust, and I'll connect it a straight line. And after that, I'll curve up my darts to meet my bust point. Please watch how I cover up my darts. This is the process I'll be using to do this bustier. If you're a beginner and you're new to sewing, please draft on pattern paper before you cut on fabric. It will help you a lot, and you can adjust your pattern as you wish as you go by drafting. The next step is for us to come to our armhole line. I'll locate the midpoint. The total length there is 5 inches. The midpoint will be 2.5. I'll mark that measurement and go outwards by 1 inch, and I'll connect my slant line to meet my bust point. So after doing that, I'll proceed to my bust line and just add that 1 inch of that taking as well. I'll add that 1 inch to my bust line, and I'll connect to meet my armhole, to curve out my new armhole. The next step after that is for us to come down by 0.5 inches. You can do 1 inch, but I'll be doing 0.5 inches, and I'll be connecting a slant line. That will be my dart take in for the bust point. So I'll connect that slant line to meet my bust point, and I'll be ruling out that first line I drew at the beginning. Yeah, that's me cancelling out the other line. So that's the way you're going to cut out your pattern, and I'll be covering my dart so there won't be a sharp edge at my bustier point. So after that, the next step is for us to curve out the neckline. You see the way the over bust is being curved. So I'll proceed to curving the over bust just as shown in the video. I'll go to my normal armhole and I'll just make a curve just as shown in the video. There are two ways to draft this pattern, but I'll be drafting mine this way because of my body shape and body size. The next step is for us to add our sewing allowance of 2 inches. I'll come to my waistline. My waist is 38 divided by 4. That will give me 9.5. I'll add 2 inches of my dart taking and 2 inches of sewing allowance. But because I want it snatched, I'll come in by 1 inch. Now, if you're going about drafting your pattern this way, please note that when you cut on fabric, you ensure that you have to pad the upper part. You pad from your neckline, from your starting line to your under bust, and after padding, you have to make use of boning to give you that structure. I don't know if you understand what I'm doing. In the thumbnail, you see that the upper part is actually standing to the under bust. So actually, when you are sewing this type of outfit on the bodies, you want to ensure that you're using your boning for structure when you are making this outfit. Please watch how I cut out my pattern. Don't make a mistake cutting out yours. And if you have watched to this point, please give this video a like so that YouTube can push up my content. And if you're learning 1 or 2 things, please ensure you subscribe to the channel. Now I've gone ahead to pin down my pattern paper. I do this step so that we can see what we're working with, and this is what we have at the end of the day after pinning down. Now for this upper part of the bodice, this is how you want it to look like. And if you're going to sew, you ensure that you use your boning structure to structure that upper part so that it would stand. This is just a pattern paper. I'm just illustrating how it should look like. So with that, we are done with the front pattern. For the back of the bodice is a corset loop. It's a corset style for the back. So I proceed to marking my extended line of 9 inches. I marked 8 inches for my starting line, marked my bust line of 9 inches, my bust point of 10.5, my waistline of 16 inches, and the length of 18 inches. I'll be connecting with a straight line just as shown, and I'll just proceed to labeling so that we are not confused as to what we are doing in this back pattern. So after that, I'll proceed to marking my shoulder measurement on the starting line and on the bust line of 8 inches. So after that, I'll mark my bust round on my bust line, 10.5, and I'll just curve that small armhole just to guide us on how to draft our back pattern. I'll come to my bust point and mark my nipple to nipple measurement plus 0.5 just sewing allowance. That will give me 4.5. I'll mark that. I'll just use it as a guide. It's not necessary for you to draft your nipple to nipple for this part, but I'll just use it as a guide. So the next step is for us to proceed to imputing our measurements. I'll mark my waistline measurement of 9.5 and I'll just connect it a straight line. So for the corset for the back, the upper part I'll be going inwards by 3 inches, and for the down part I'll be going inwards by 2 inches. Now for the waist dart, you can either do waist dart or bust dart. Whichever one works fine. You go down. If you want a bust dart, come down by your bust point by 1 inches, but if you want a waist dart, go upwards your waistline by 1 inch. But I'll be using the waist dart for this corset for the back, so I've gone ahead to mark that 1 inch. So I'll proceed now to just adding sewing allowance of 2 inches, and I'll mark my measurements, connect the straight line. The next step is for us to curve our back. So I'll proceed to taking my ruler and I'll just make a curve from the bust line to meet my bust point. I don't know if you understand what I'm doing. The 9 inches mark, that's how I'm going to connect my back. This is how I want my back to look like. So for the corset, I'll be going inwards at the top by 3 inches, down part by 2 inches, and I'll just rule a slant line. And that's that for the back pattern. So I'm just making a hole just to show you how your corset should look like. So that's it right there, and we're done with the pattern drafting for this upper bodice. I'll proceed now to cutting up my pattern so that we see how it looks like at the end of the day. This is how you want your pattern to be. Like I said in the beginning, you can draft the pattern for this outfit for the upper bodice in 2 different ways, but I'll be drafting mine like this. So I'll proceed now to cutting out so that you can see what we have at the end of the day. I'll just be cutting out that dart intake. I'll just place it on top. You can use a tape, paper tape to tape it down, and this is what we have at the end of the day. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Until I come your way again, bye.